first time I ever experienced racism was when I was just 7 years old. Hi, my name is D'Shontéa Devow, but before I start, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Ngunnawal land, and I pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging. I am a proud 15-year-old Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander girl. I have heritage stemming from the Mumba people in Palm Island and Darnley Island in the Torres Straits. I'm going to be talking about breaking the shell that society has put on Indigenous people. And I know what you're probably thinking. What would this 15-year-old girl know about these types of things? Well, my answer is a lot. The first time I ever dealt with racism, when I was just 7 years old, when a boy in my class told me that no one would ever marry me because of my black face. I always knew I was different, but this was the first time that it was really made clear to me. Then, from grade 4 to grade 6, I was called the N-word by one of my so-called friends. When I told teachers about it, instead of them addressing it, they tried to sweep it under the rug. When I finally decided to speak out about it and stand up for myself, that's when the teachers got involved. I was told to apologise and to accept an apology from the other student. Although she was made to apologise, I didn't know why I had to do the same when I was the one on the receiving end of racism. She had made me feel embarrassed and almost humiliated of who I am as a young black girl. To her, it was a slap on the wrist, but to me, it was a slap on the face. Once high school hit, it didn't get much better. I would hear the N-word. I went to a co-ed school and would hear the N-word constantly. When I would tell people not to say it, they would excuse their behaviour and say that because it was in a song and not directed at anyone, that it didn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in context or not. It's a derogatory word, and there will always be strong history behind it. That word was used to degrade my people and humiliate them, and people think it's okay for them to say, but it's not. As you can see, I have curly hair, and I'm very proud of it, as it makes me feel more connected with my culture. But at times, it has made me feel like I'm some pet on display by the constant touching and comments made about it. I don't care when people touch my hair, but it's the lack of respect they have when they do it. Once, a teacher told me to take off my fur coat. When I told her that it was my hair, she said, "Oh," and the whole class turned to laugh at me. Instead of addressing her mistake and moving on, she kept bringing it up and saying, "I'm sorry, but it really did look like fur," and comparing me to some singer who also had curly hair. This kept drawing attention back to me and making me feel humiliated. I've been compared to Hagrid, Redfoo, and even a mop because of my hair. These aren't compliments, nor are they funny, and it makes me feel embarrassed. As a kid, you're always looking for a role model, someone who looks like you. For me, that was hard. I never saw anybody who represented me in society, so I want to be that person for others. I want to show no matter how small or big their goal is, they can reach it. They just need to find their confidence and to surround themselves with people who can support them. Luckily for me, I had an amazing role model, my dad. He has his own business, and since the age of 5, I've wanted to take over. I would constantly nag him about it, and when I was 10, the nagging worked. He helped me launch my own business, Tea & Bell. Tea & Bell is an Australian-owned business with an Indigenous twist that helps spread Indigenous culture. I now want to branch out onto my own business. My new business might include hair products, a beauty line, and an Indigenous clothing label, so keep your eyes peeled for that. These are just some of my experiences, and a way that I've gotten through them is to love myself, embrace my Indigenous culture, and to never let anyone's words define me. You can learn from this. Love yourself, embrace yourself, and never let anyone's words define you. Remember, you're wonderfully and beautifully created. Thank you.